Okay, I have to record these so I hold myself accountable to actually doing it and not just like being like, oh, I'll remember. Okay, so we're gonna take just a moment to lay down on our back and set an intention for the practice today. You know, maybe you wanna cultivate strength or grace or a dog licking your face, you know, all those things. Just start by rolling out our backs, kind of warming up our hips, moving into a happy baby, pushing your lower back into the floor, pulling your knees maybe closer to the floor. We're just warming up here. Maybe straightening one leg, straightening the other. Go ahead and pull your right knee into your chest and your left leg goes forward. And bring the leg up, grabbing a hold of the back of your calf, maybe your ankle. If you'd like a little bit more, just lift your head and chest, but trying to keep this hip planted firmly on the ground. So anyway, and then you can do a twist here if you want to, but we're not gonna hold it long because I gotta keep moving. So bring that left leg in, pull it up to your chest. Again, if you wanna lift your head and neck, go ahead and do that. Doing a dog, or doing yoga while a dog licks your ear is super awesome. And then allowing that to twist. Trying to keep the left shoulder on the ground and then get the left knee all the way to the ground. Wow, Lucy, thank you. She was literally like laying down, not paying any attention to me until just now, so that's fun. Okay, and then go ahead and rock forward, rolling over your hands and knees, bringing yourself into tabletop. Maybe rock back and forth here, warm out your wrists. Oh my gosh, seriously, this is awesome. Thank you, Lucy. Rock your wrists back and forth. Maybe turn them to the back a little bit. Wow, cool. Anyway, this is super. Anyway, moving into cat-cow, so let the belly drop and the sit bones reach up. Exhale, push round through the upper back. Oh my gosh. And let the belly drop and the sit bones reach up again. One more time, pushing around through the upper back. Go ahead and find a neutral spine. Really thinking about bringing some awareness to your hands here. So you're gonna grip in with your fingers, the eye of the elbow is facing the thumb, really strong through the arms, moving into sunbird. So lifting your left arm, right leg goes back, holding, reaching long, stretching it out. Oh my gosh, seriously, this dog. And then elbow and knee together for 3, 2, 1. Switch it out, other side. Elbow and knee together for 3, 2, 1. Plant your hands. Oh my gosh, Lucy. Lift your heels, moving into downward facing dog. Take a moment, this is our first downward facing dog. Just remembering that the butt is the apex of this pose, or the hips. So really just pushing up, pushing your heels to the floor, maybe wiggling your toes around, bending one knee and then the other. Lucy, seriously. Cool. Anyway, left leg, or yeah, right leg flies, keeping your hips square. Step or hop that right leg to the front of the mat. Warrior 2. Pushing the air down like it's heavy. Heel should be tracking the inner arch of the back foot. Moving into some lateral bends, so reverse warrior, making length on the side of the body. Everything stays the same with your legs this whole time. Down to side angle. Awesome. And then reverse warrior, making length. And back to side angle, possibly a half wrap this time, bending your arm, placing it on the small of your lower back, maybe a full wrap, reaching through your legs. Awesome, maybe a dog licks your face, that's cool. Cartwheel the hands to the top, to plank position. Here in plank, where shoulders are over our hands, body is in a straight line, engaging your core. We're gonna go down for 1 chaturanga, elbows go back and back, pushing straight like a board, moving right into side arm balance. Here you can use your leg as a kickstand. Your dog might eat your hair, it's fine. Or you can keep your leg back. If you're up for it, draw your elbow and knee together for 3, 2, 1, awesome. Back to plank. 1 more chaturanga, maybe you drop to your knees, moving your body as a single plane, and over to the left side arm balance. Again, that kickstand's an option, going down to your forearm if your wrist is sore, but bringing the elbow and knee together if you're up 4 for 3. Whoop, dog. 2, I don't even know if I can blame Lucy for that one though. 1, back to plank. Lucy, seriously, please stop. Cool hair. Okay, awesome. Pushing back into downward facing dog. She's fine. No dogs are harmed in this video. Downward facing dog, left leg flies. Step or hop that left leg to the top of the mat. Gosh, my hair looks good. Thank you, Lucy, for that. Warrior 2. Heel intersects the arch of the back foot, pushing into the outer edge of your back foot, bending deep into the front knee, moving to reverse warrior for those lateral bends, reaching the arm back, legs are staying the same, back down to side angle, maybe your elbow to knee, maybe your hand can reach to the floor. One more time, reverse warrior, really opening up to the side of your body, and back to side angle, maybe the half wrap, bending that upper arm to low back, maybe reaching through your legs and connecting. Awesome, and back up to warrior 2. Cool, then we're gonna cartwheel our hands to the top, downward facing dog, hips are squared, pushing those heels down towards the mat, right leg flies, step or hop to the front of the mat, modified crescent, dropping the back knee, arms up, and open the chest, spreading wide across the collarbones, and retract. One more time, open the chest, and retract. Moving into half splits, so the back leg stays the same, straightening the front leg, hands on either side, stretching long through the back of the leg, and back into modified crescent. This time we're moving to pyramid pose, hands plant, might need your blocks here, straighten the front leg, hips are squared to the front of the room, toes pointing towards the front, just folding over your front leg, trying to keep your spine long, and rising up into full crescent. Planting the left hand, moving to rotated triangle, maybe hands on a block, maybe it's on the floor, straightening the front leg, hips are squaring towards the front, so we want to be pulling back with the right leg, pulling forward with the left hip, spreading wide across the collarbones, stacking left arms down, right arms up, rising up to crescent pose, and then stepping to the top of the mat, bending deep into chair. Awesome. From chair, we're going to rise up into mountain pose on the balls of our feet, so rising up to mountain, and then sitting back into chair. One more time, rise up to mountain and sit back into chair. Last time, mountain. This time we're gonna go down to a toe balance. So trying to stay up high on your toes, slowly lowering all the way down to a toe balance. Drop your heels, spread the knees apart, toes out, yogi squat, pulling your chest through the gateway of the legs, taking a moment to stretch across here, stretching out your side body, and then other side, left side, stretching out the side body. Awesome. Hands plant, downward facing dog, left leg flies, hips are squared, step or hop to the front of the mat, modified crescent, and spreading wide, arching, what's the word for this? Cactus, the arms, and round. One more time, cactusing the arms apart and rounding, keeping everything the same with the back, but straightening out the front leg for half splits, stretching out the back of the leg. You'll feel this wherever you're the tightest, so everyone will be a little bit different. Might be your calf, back of your leg, I don't know. Could be anywhere, but we're really thinking about keeping our hips squared. So back into modified crescent one more time, then planting both hands, pyramid pose, straighten the front leg, toes point the front of room. Think about pulling, scissoring your hips so the right leg is pulling forward, the left leg or hip, right hip, left hip, pulling back. Awesome. Again, hands might need to be on a block here. You can make it active by reaching towards the front of the room if that's what you're feeling. You're really getting it on this Sunday morning, but it could be anytime, so videos. Anyways, here we are rising up to full crescent pose. Hips are staying the same when we rise up to that full crescent pose, bending at a 45-degree angle, knee tracking the toes, super, moving into rotated triangle. So planting the right hand, straightening the left arm and left leg, reaching up, gaze might go up. Again, your hand might need to be on the block or on the floor or whatever works for you. Rising up to full crescent and then cartwheeling the hands down and moving into downward facing dog. So we're gonna do this twice here. The first time we're just going to push hard through the hands, try to tiptoe our feet through, all the way through to reverse table. Head might drop back, hips lift up, squeezing like there's a block in between our legs. So as we tiptoe back this time, the next time you have the option of hopping through. So to do that, you're gonna bend your knees, jump, look through the gateway, go for it. No time to think about it. So moving into staff pose here, sitting tall, engaging our legs. We're gonna do a few leg lifts. You can do one at a time or both for 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome, rocking back into boat pose. Legs can be bent, they can be straight. Mostly we're thinking about pulling up out of our low back. This might be an easier way to see it. So pulling up out of our low back, going down to low boat, doing maybe a few crunches here or some hollow body rocks, or holding with stillness and rising back up to full boat. Again, legs can be straight, legs can be bent, whatever sounds good. Rising up to Baddha Konasana here. Butterfly pose, pushing the legs down maybe extending your legs out, folding over your feet, whatever feels good to you. Can't really get over how good my hair looks thanks to Lucy. So that's pretty awesome. And then we're gonna move into reverse table. So hands go back, your fingers can be facing towards the front of the mat, can be out to the sides, really whatever feels good to you. But just rising up, lift your hips, squeezing like you have a block in between your legs. Coming down, not all the way to a seat though, we got some tricep dips. So we're just gonna bend the arms straight back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome, sitting on our bottom, cow's head, so with our arms, so bending that arm, maybe pulling here, possibly reaching around with your left arm and grabbing your hands. Awesome. Go ahead and switch that out when you're ready. And then we're gonna move into a reverse plank, which is similar to a reverse table, only with straight legs. So if that doesn't work in your body, just do it with bent knees again, but we're gonna plant our feet, plant our hands, lift our hips, straighten the legs, reverse table. Your head can drop back if that's hard on your neck. Head can go forward. Really just thinking about lifting up through our hips. And go ahead and have a seat. Okay. And we're gonna rock forward. Maybe try to stand up without using your hands. Effort is getting it here. And then we're in mountain pose. Cartwheel our hands down, and then halfway lift, go back down, because I forgot what I was doing, but I know now, so we're good. Rise up, step back with your left foot. We're in Goddess. Gonna sink deep. Hips are facing whatever color wall is over there, because you can do it any way you want, but in the studio, you like the magenta wall possibly? I don't know. Anyway, we're here. We're gonna pulse for 3, 2, 1, and rising back to the front of the mat, stepping forward, doing it Goddess pose, other side, toes out, heels in. Not that it really matters, but I just wanted to do some calf raises. So we'll be here for 3, 2, 1. Should have picked an even number, but we did do a side, so it's cool. Stepping to the top of the mat, downward facing dog. So step or hop the feet back, right leg flies, keeping the hips squared towards the front of the room, so our toe, back toe is pointing down. Step or hop that right leg to the front, hips are square, rising up into they aren't square. We're rising up into warrior two. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle, sinking deep, moving to triangle. Pull your right hip back and fold over your front leg. Resting your hand on your shin, maybe keeping it active, hovering your hand, and then rising up, back up to mountain, stepping back with the right foot, warrior two, pressing the air down like it's heavy, triangle pose, pull back on the left hip, fold over the front leg. Pulse here for 3, 2, 1. Should have done on the other side, I just thought of it, so good thing this video is not for real. And back to warrior two, just to clear it out. Rising to the front of the mat, hands drop down, step or hop to the back. Right leg flies, open the hip this time, moving into pigeon pose. So while you're rolling your leg down, kind of set it up for you. You're gonna pull that front leg, switch ways on your circles. Pull the front leg, make the shin parallel with the front of the mat, setting down the shin, the knee, sitting back. This can be active. We're really thinking about squaring our hips to the front of the mat. Maybe you can pulse with the back foot. Maybe you want to reach back and grab it. You do you, or just folding over that front leg. Awesome. You can hold this for a bit. Or we're gonna go ahead and rise up into downward facing dog. This time, left leg is gonna fly. Bend the knee, make a few circles. Other way, make a few circles. Now, pushing through your hands, placing that front foot parallel with the mat, and resting into it. Again, we have all the options, making it active. We're always thinking, though, about those hips being squared with the front of the mat. We don't want them open. That doesn't feel good. So squaring them to the front, maybe bending that back knee, maybe reaching back and grabbing it, maybe folding over and resting into the pose. And that's the end. My hair looks great. Lucy's asleep now, so that's cool. So moving into Shavasana, just laying down on our backs, finding stillness, sinking deep into the mat. Obviously, I'm not doing it. I guess I could, but that's the end. So rising up, hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me. It has been my pleasure. Namaste.